Top of the morning to you. Delete yourself, Charlotte. Kitties Never Die. Stu Concepts. Thanks very much for joining me on this early morning show. I did a show there, but I hit the wrong buttons. So, we start again. Here we have it. Birthday cards. Thanks so much to everybody who sent these across. Ian, cheers. That was a good one. Yes, and those jokes. 40, who you kidding? And then Super Cashy. Thanks so much. Lots of nice cards. I appreciate them as much as the presents. Thanks. I also want to say thank you to everybody who put in a donation via Stream Elements or Streamlabs, which are the ones I always ask for instead of Utubio, but somehow I managed to, in all of my higher or lower excitement, I didn't manage to pay attention to the Stream Elements infos. So just let me check what that was. It was Lisa, thank you so much, who donated $100 and was going to get me a voucher to take my mum out, but $100 is just the same deal. Take my mum out because, of course, it was her that did all the hard work on my birthday. Thanks, Lisa. That's a really generous present. Thanks. Appreciate everything you do all year to help me and the whole community. Cheers. Also, XD sending me some birthday bananas. Thank you. Super Cashy, who also sent the card. Really appreciated. Thanks. Hope Victoria as well. You as well. Best toll against the hate is love. That was Minner. Merrick also helping give him a focus to just put all that purpose into, which is appreciated. Great message. Great to have you here. George Washington, who thought I looked good as a Mexican. Thanks. Guitar Outside, who knows how to speak my love language. Thanks very much for the $15. $20 and then 15 from Sarah, who also sent the Fibonacci triangle. If you haven't seen that, check it out. I've got it here beside me, actually. I'll remind you, because you just need to look at it and all your hopes and dreams come true. So all the different ways you can spin it around too. I should start trying some of the other ones. Is that it? Are we getting some action on the go? Yes, so you just need to look at it. All your hopes and dreams come true if you focus on them strongly enough. Talking about hopes and dreams. Thanks also Kitties. And that was it. That was everyone. So Delete Yourself, who also asked for Neti and said great show yesterday. Appreciated. Thank you very much. 2 donations from yourself. Really appreciate it, mate. Always very good supporting the show. So Neti, a quick look then at Neti, and then also check in with Spy. That's Rocky's show. Remember, it's on tonight and it's coming. Rocky's show is probably going on exactly the same time as a large move in the old Bitcoin. Oh, I see the charts have decided to not show up. I can make it happen. Neti. Start on the 4-hour time frame. You can see this is a move to the top side, this leg of the trend. It's a downward sloping trend overall on higher time frames, but this leg is to the top side with higher highs and higher lows that go in this regimented move higher and higher. If it does break down, you're going through a golden pocket. The prior daily and weekly lows will be breaking there because you'll be continuing a trend that's already in motion. You'd have to go through a golden pocket to exceed this trend line significantly, though it is starting on a 4-hour time frame. I'll show you that this information is present on the weekly, at least in terms of support. If you are to break down further, the 886 in around $8.70. Any further than that would get, well, 870, 786. Any further than that would get a little bit dodgy. So I would want to stop in at around those levels, but it could easily come back down, test the top side of 890, that sort of level. $9, if I would expect it to, if it's to threaten some people by giving a proper touch of this trend line where it's most significant and intersects with the horizontal. So if this trend continues, it still could be with Neti pushing further down. If it pushes back up, then you've got lots of things to look to. In that, you've got on the weekly time frame this downward sloping diagonal where price action most recently found a high. At the same time, it got to the lower side of a gap, but didn't completely close that. See that gap? I'm just above me. In at around $12.40 to $13.80. There's a gap that needs filled, so they're important targets to break. We also find a 382 and the prior monthly high. So making it there doesn't necessarily mean breaking through, and that important horizontal to look to, as well as diagonal on the weekly where you can see price action not divergent, very strong here, but then looking back across the piece, you could say this is where it finds its highs when it intersects with this downward sloping diagonal. So a little bit dodgy, worrisome, isn't it? And then you can see it hit the rocky outcrop flash there on the weekly at the lower side of that gap, telling you which of those two artifacts to aim for and to go for it, along with when you look at the buy signal. So brilliant. Get that indicator, www.patreon.com/rockyoutcrop, where you also get the toolkit, which is everything else that's drawn on the charts here, done all for you, and access to the Discord premium site, which is fantastic value. So think about it. And then if you did break out of that formation, well, you've got your prior high to aim to before you could say that it's really turned around, and that's in at around 50, 60 bucks. That's definitely possible. Look to the 886 in at around 50 is first target. Way ahead of that, I'd be looking at the prior high from this formation. You'd be targeting on the way down. That was the next rung on the ladder, so to speak, at 20 bucks to 25. It's also a golden pocket retracement where you'd anticipate going if you find support at the 236, which is in at around those targets we spoke about at 890. And that sort of retracement that would give you the best value. It would also take you close to a $770 for a stop, which provides with comfortable risk reward for any of these targets you might be looking to the top side. Though it's not financial advice. If it was financial advice, it'd probably be the best financial advice in the world. You can also see that Rocky Outcrop's indicator isn't stop giving you free money. It's screaming at you about some in around these levels, the $8.70, $8.80, that sort of target, you know, maybe a little bit lower, maybe even closer to that potential stop. Maybe you want to look at this and think, well, the trade's already on, that's the place to aim for. People that speak to about it or on the Discord. So if you do hold this target, like if you do hold the support where price action is a minute, and yesterday it had a 1.76% move to the top side, which is not bad, then you would be looking to come back and test 1340. Go on, test 20, 22, go on again. Yep, boy, 45, 48, 50, 52. All these things are possible for Neti, who are a shipping company, ostensibly, although their ships are most profitably used for the installation of offshore wind farms. And well, there's very small capacity for this across the planet, and as such, you can go and investigate that level of capacity that's being deployed at any one time by trying to book one of their ships, and you wouldn't be able to in the period coming up because they're very, very busy, which you'll expect to be positive for their fundamentals. And then, you know, technicals are already suggesting there could be the starting point of opportunity, and that rocket outcrop flash is a level I would pay attention to. If it goes any further, then you know what to do. So that's 4 hour, the weekly and daily, with a pretty good synopsis of price action. If you're also looking at it on the hourly, you can see that there's potential reversal divergence. You're back above the center line. If this thing does move back up again, you look at 1185. That would be a good target to move to top side. Tough to see on these tiny little 1096, 11, so on. So if that does happen, you could say that this here was potentially bullishly divergent, but is downtrend is oversold, but a number of touches of divergence is possible. So that's what you're looking like for on Neti. And then we'll go. Thanks very much. Delete yourself for that donation. It's appreciated on the birthday too. And like I say, the show couldn't run without you, so it's really appreciated. And then S&P 500. This spike came down, you put in what is a harmonic and a W bottom, and then came up, tested a couple of gaps. Having broken out of this wedge, you went both directions from measured move. You're looking at this thinking, is it rolling over? It's September, it's not just my birthday. Well, I had a great birthday it was. And if you're still celebrating, like I am, links in the description. This week, September, you've got options expiring on the Friday the 15th. And as you might be aware, especially if you're heavily invested in volume as part of your analysis, then you'll be aware of the implications from the options closing and the change in open interest and that dynamic with spot and what that's going to lead to on price action for the major indices. So you'll probably be aware of that. You may be aware of that it's not just my birthday, September, but since I've been alive in the 34 years prior to this one, of, not that that's my age, I'm really managing to make a meal of this, haven't I? of the past 34 years, 26 of those, there's been a decline in the stock market in September. So people would be inclined to think that that's going to happen again. The statisticians are confounded by the fact that of those years in which it didn't drop, it was because it went up. Those shared a commonality that they went up in August by approximately 10%. And if that did happen, then rather than the stock market dropping in September by big chunks, which often does happen, instead it went up by 0.3%. Now, 26 of 34 years, these details, these numbers, they can be confusing, even for me, as you probably just noticed. But that's not what's important, nor do they drive price action, nor does options expirations drive price action, nor do the price of options drive the price of spot. That doesn't happen. If you've listened to me ever express any information on what actually drives price, you'll know that that's not true. And if you want to keep thinking like that, it's good for helping you price your option contracts, but it isn't good for trying to understand what drives the underlying value of the asset you're talking about here. So volume can confuse people a lot, even good traders. And the implications for this week aren't that 26 of the previous 34 or what the stocks necessarily did in August. They're market sentiment surrounding price action at the minute, and those things that are driving price action aren't, oh, all retail are selling their stock because they have to pay their tax and that's driving down prices. That's an absurd rationalization to make when the 11 months of the year you would say retail have no effect on price action, and 10, if you were to look at prices across most major indices, it would be fewer than 10 days encompass 100% of their price action that year, and that on those 10 days, most often that happens post-market when retail aren't even trading. So to suggest that it's retail taking profit that caused the cyclical decline in price action in September is again an absurd rationalization. But without thinking about these things beyond surface level, you might appear to be following some kind of logic. But the past doesn't predict the future in that way. It just tells you how people react to certain events, and people control price, especially if you do believe in options expiration, then you'd believe the thesis behind that it's people, isn't it? And so their reactions and their behavior. And as you can see, a couple of things to look to. Price action has been trying to pull back up again after this most recent peak. You've got a lot of questions about this strong move to the top side here. It's self-divergent, but it held this trend line, which is relevant here on the 1 hour time frame. If you go to the weekly time frame, you can see there is a number of touches here. Try to get across. A number of touches, and you're holding that ascent, but it has come on the context of this most recent peak itself, and you've found a rejection at this top side, or the top side of the RSI just before you reach the bullish control zone, and you haven't managed to get back above your own moving average. So that is a strong warning sign. Also, you're peaking at an 886. So down to the daily time frame, on SPY is really what you're talking about here, where there's a support and resistance at, and then what it might be the major moves in the market that we were driving it. The top side of it is 455 because you've got a gap to close. The bottom side of that is 453. It's your most recent peak in price action. And if you do manage to get back above there, you'd likely be exceeding the recent peak on the RSI. So it's potential for volatility, that could take you back up and easily go 455, 450, 455, 457, be maybe really, really high. You'd need good news across the market for that to be happening, because everything constantly evolving. There'd be a lot of money coming in if it made it to those levels. If you did break down again, you've got an important level of support here. Looking left, it's the prior highs on the uptrend, which you have exceeded, obviously, but you then started this leg moving back up again. And that speaks to the potential for price action to slow if it does break down in at around 440 to 442. You're at 445 already. And as you can see, a little bit of a decline yesterday and pre-market. So this might be the first place where you find a touch of support. If that doesn't hold, I'd be looking in at this little area at 440. If that doesn't manage to stop price action, because in that stage you'd be talking about a high and then a lower high, then you'd be saying price action likely comes down and tests the previous low, because that's what a test is, right? If it's failed at the idea of getting back to the prior high, then it's not in an uptrend, and you would say, well, then is it in a downtrend? You have to come back and break the previous low. So you'd be saying the important area to hold is 440. If that doesn't work, then you've got a test here. Sorry, 442, very much where you are at the minute. A couple of bucks. If that doesn't happen, 440, and 440 will be the determinant if you're going to come in and test this 435, 442 level. If you do break up, then you've obviously got this eye to aim for, like I say, and at around 455. And then if you do break up higher, then sure, we'll talk about the time, but it's unlikely to happen because of the news. See, the news is this week in Federal Reserve, obviously, they're going to be pausing the rate rises. That's the sentiment across the market, and the discrepancy between futures and spot. They would be traders pricing in the idea that there isn't going to be a rate rise. And then it's also true to say that looking at other contracts, they think there will be next month, and that's what a lot of people think the Federal Reserve are doing. They will raise rates until such times as it looks like they might be the ones impacting the economy, and then they'll take their foot off the gas. So 1 month on, 1 month off. Coast and burn until they escape the danger. Coast and burn for a soft landing. That's their idea. And so inflation data, Federal Reserve decisions being made next week, options expiring on Friday, and these are the main events that are driving price action. SPY itself is trapped between a stone and a hard place, and we expect it to bounce sideways is the main takeaway from what I'm saying, with resistance in at around 455 topside, 450 midpoint, 442 immediate levels to break, then it goes down to 440, and that's what you'd be thinking. If there is a disaster, 432. If there's an amazing opportunity, 460. But actually it's just sideways. And we would expect that, having broken one diagonal trend, started another diagonal trend, break that, you know, you've got this huge cavernous gap below and the same equivalent above. It's going to be difficult to get in there, and open interest will close down any opportunity getting close to it based on where it's spread at the minute. So thanks very much for watching SPY and Neti. Did we get anything in the meantime? There's the messages. Great to see everybody. Look, a lot more people joined since the start. JS, yo, good to see you. Charlotte, yo, what else am I missing? This is me on the big screen. Boom. Charlotte, howdy doody. JS, yup. Woo. Wobsathon, good to see you, my friend. Wobs. After the low and the double bottom 3 times in a row, you had a 50% retrace in a row, but this yesterday it didn't hold and came lower to where we are today. Was pretty interesting. A nice headband. Nice headband. I don't understand. Sarah! Oh, you're chatting. YouTube is dead, guys. Puts on Google. Poor YouTube. Says I've been live for 17 minutes. Better not be dead. Are you getting a loading screen, Floglord? Or are you looking at a chart? Maybe you need to hit the refresh button. It's loading screen on every video. Weird. Everybody else having a good time? His stream is working, isn't it? People see that. I had a dream that I was looking at a chart and it turned out waterfalls and ocean sprays. That's a nice dream. Am I alive? People seeing me? I tried doing the video once already, so if it didn't work, then I'm a big idiot. Maybe I'm watching it. I'm watching what's going out, and it seems to be me shaking this spectacular present from Sarah Herrera. That seems to be the show that's going out, based on what's pushed across my YouTube studio. But that looks like the same video that I did, and then it didn't work. Is it? Have I been caught in some weird time loop because of this Fibonacci square that's just reset when I noticed it? It did seem that way, doesn't it? Is this some sort of Christopher Nolan YouTube video? What's happening? What's happening? I think the only way I can be brought back is tune in to Rocky Outcrop Show tonight for Bitcoin's huge move. You know, talking about rewind, watching it backwards and whatnot. I can tell you tonight there might be a huge move in Bitcoin. It might be coming at the same time Rocky's live. I mean, that's just the way it is. Look, it just might happen. What am I talking about next on that stream? I mean, I can see me over here talking and I'm saying stuff. What am I saying? Higher and higher. If it does break down, you're going, that's me, all right. Talking about that thing over there. It's brilliant. Well, if you get extra show, great. If you don't, I don't understand. Sorry, guys, been away traveling with a job. Sean, you travel too much. I always try to keep it at 10k. Every time the value goes down, I just add. Sounds like a marathon. An endless marathon. We all have. Jamie, did you see how Finger is blowing up? Good news. Great to see. Great to see Kitty's Finger doing good. Great analysis. Thanks for sharing. Thank you very much. For yours might be talking to each other there, but if it's me, then you're welcome. Worked fine for me. Need a cigarette after that analysis. Delete yourself. Oof. Oh my God. Square Wave made YouTube glitch. Is that what? Is they're back now? Are we back in the same place again? Did I get us back with that Fibonacci square shake? I'm not seeing it on the thing that's being broadcast there. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing me draw in lower highs and explain things. I even looked at VIX on that other video there, so if you get that, it's like a bonus content. Bonus. Tune in to Rocky Show tonight. Yo! So I think I thanked everybody. I hope so. We've been through it a few times now, thanking people that I missed on the Monday show. Of course, my horse. Yup, what? Naturally, yup, what? The problem. Which CSC? I don't even know who you're talking to because I don't know the conversation I had. So I want to thank people for the cards. I want to remind you to check into Rocky Show tonight. I wanted to point out the chance that might be some Bitcoin. If you're shaking it vertically, you mean horizontally? You got to do the horizontal shake. Now it really is starting to. Hey, suits you, sir. Look, focus on the square. Anyway, you have to twist it horizontally, Tradespotting. I'm talking to you. Yeah, but there's two me, and both of me have got squares. And twisting it horizontally is different from shaking it vertically, which you just said. So if you are talking to me, you know, you're speaking in opposites. Mesmerizing, lol. Isn't it? Does that thing have a golden pocket? It comes from the golden pocket. That's where it's its originator. It's the progeny. Is the golden pocket. Yo! The progeny of the golden pocket is the originator. It's the holy sugar. Just focus on what you really want to happen. And then, no, not that corner, the adjacent corner. It's a square. This one. Here, Sarah, I think you've got something wrong there. I'm pretty sure you're wrong with that. But then that's the way instructions tend to go when you do them this way, you know, from the chat box to the live host. Tend to work out like that. That sort of a way, don't you find? Maybe if I do it like that, and then I do it like that. Did you see that? Did you see that? Or maybe, right, if you do it like that, and then you do it like that. Did you see that one? Anyway, as long as you're focusing on it very intently. It sounds good when I put it down. Oof, some exercise there. Exactly, Lurk and Luke Sotos. Exactly. So, thank you very much, everybody who was there to celebrate the higher or lower and celebrate my birthday with me. I appreciate every one of you, and I'll remember it. Thanks. And everybody who supports the show, cheers. Members, Patreon members in particular, thanks. I know that people leave all the time, whatnot, but so if you would like to join any of these things, please do. Please do. Think about joining Patreon. Think about being a channel member. These things really help. Without you doing these things, I can't do the show, and often it's just like attrition and people forget and change a bank card or whatever, and then ultimately bottom falls out of things. So if you are able to do those sort of things, it's really appreciated. Thanks very much for supporting me. And the best way to support me, the best favour ever do me, is helping Rocky outcrop, and tune in for his show tonight, which he does once a week. It's tough for him to get to him because of his health issues, but he always manages, and he appreciates the audience. So if you are there, I'll appreciate that extra. Thank you very much. Neti for delete yourself. Thanks for asking for that. It's appreciated. Thanks for everybody who donated. I don't know if anything came in this show. Nope. Don't think so. But remember, it is the birthday week, so they're very welcome. Fax requests or otherwise. Thanks very much. See you in Rocky Show. Bye-bye. Hit the like and subscribe button. Yes, like and subscribe. Thanks.